So we've got E, A, and back to E. You could even, on that A, include some harmonics with the pinky there if you wanted. They're in reach. However you want. In this video, you learn 3 beautiful chord progressions for guitar that are easy to play and sound amazing. Now, there is nothing wrong with standard everyday chord progressions. We all play them and it's fine. But there are ways to convert these progressions into beautiful emotional sounding music where it's often as easy, even if not easier, to play compared to the standard progressions. Hi, this is Simon Candy from AcousticGuitarLessonsOnline.net, and in this lesson you learn 3 beautiful sounding chord progressions made up of chords including the add 9 chord, the minor add 9 chord, and the major 7 chord, amongst others. The third progression I show you has a neat little trick where you can take one of the shapes and without changing the shape at all, move it all over the fretboard for a very, very cool sound. But first we'll run through the shapes that will make up the chord progressions today in isolation. Then I'll show you them in context with beautiful sounding chord progressions, and then we'll break down those chord progressions so that you can understand what's going on, that you can play them, and most importantly, that you can take the concepts and apply them to your own music. So let's get to it. So let's begin by looking at some of the chords that are going to feature in the progression. So this won't necessarily be every single chord, but these are the chords that I'm really wanting to feature in today's lesson. So the first one is an E add 9 chord, and it sounds like this. Beautiful chord. And all it is an E major chord, but we take the root on the 4th string and we move it up to an F sharp note, and that's the 9th, adding the 9th into the chord. Okay, and to do that you need to take your 3rd finger off the root note and use your pinky to play the F sharp, while the 1st and 2nd fingers remain in position as they typically do for an E open chord, and you've got all the open strings around that, so all 6 strings with this chord. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's a beautiful sounding chord compared to E and E add 9. Now the next chord is an A add 9 chord. So this chord sounds like this. Okay, beautiful sounding chord. Like the E, it's an add 9, and if we look at it, we've got a standard A chord. We take the A root note on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and we move it up to a B. That's the 9th, adding the 9th. So to do that, we need to reconfigure the chord a little bit using our 1st and 2nd fingers in the 2nd fret on the 4th and 2nd strings respectively, and that frees up the pinky to play the 9. And in both cases, the E add 9 and the A add 9, you get this dissonant interval, if you like, a major 2nd between the B and the C sharp. For the add 9 it was the F sharp and the G sharp, and that can sound quite dissonant, but in the context of the chord it's beautiful. Okay, so that's the A add 9. Sticking with the add 9s, we can also play minor add 9 chords. So we're going to be using this chord today, A minor add 9, and that's actually the exact same shape as the E add 9, but we move it up a string set. Just like E major shape, move it up a string set, becomes A minor. Well, if we take the E add 9 and move it up a string set, it becomes A minor add 9. Now the A minor add 9 even has a more dissonant interval in it. The B on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and the C, 1st fret, 2nd string. Hear them together, it's pretty dissonant, right about as dissonant as you'll get. It's a semitone. But in the context of the chord, it's a beautiful sound. Now I'm actually going to use a couple of other variations of the add 9 too, or different voicings if you like. I've got this one here at the 5th position, and it's using a lot of open strings, the low A. We've got the 7th and 5th fretted notes on the 4th and 3rd strings, and the top 2 strings. The add 9 this time is the open B, or is sounded with the open B. And then another little A minor shape up here, still droning the A string. We've got a C, an E, and then the B again, an E on top. So you got this one down here, and you got this one, and this one. Okay, so there's three varieties of minor add 9 there. We're also going to play this really nice D minor add 9 chord, I guess we'd call that. It's using the droning D. We've got this C note, and we've got the F, and we've got the E on top. It's probably actually more a D minor 9 as opposed to D minor add 9. So there's a really nice droning sounding D minor 9 chord, and we're also going to use this altered 7th chord, which is an E7 flat 9 is what this is called. We've got a low E, we've got the G sharp, and we've got the D. There's our flat 9, which is an F, and the open E. Now remember, you're hearing these all out of context, so if they sound a little strange to your ear, wait until they come into their progressions. Also, we're going to be using some major 7 chords. In particular, again, open strings are a beautiful sound, so you're going to see the open strings feature all throughout these progressions. And this is a nice droning E major 7 chord. We've got open strings of E, B, and E on top. We've got G sharp, and our D sharp, which is the major 7. Now what's really nice about this chord is you can use harmonics, open string, or sort of natural harmonics if you like, at the 7th fret. I'm just using my 3rd finger to lightly touch directly above the 7th fret. It's not pushing down at all, it's just touching, and I get the harmonics, which I can include in the chord if I want. Really, really beautiful sound. And I do the same thing with this little E major shape up here. So this is part of a triad here. Open droning strings on top, low E. And you can do the same sort of thing with the natural harmonics at the 12th fret. So they're really, really beautiful sounds when you bring harmonics into the play. And it's not that difficult to do, because they're just open string harmonics, and they're simple little shapes, two fretted notes and open strings around it. Okay, so there's some of the chords that we're going to feature in today's progressions. So our first chord progression here today is very simple, and in its sort of plain form, if you like, it's simply going to be an E chord for a bar to an A chord for a bar, but we're going to be making use of some of these add 9 chords and harmonics. We can play this E to this A with the E, something like this. So I'm just replacing the E with the E add 9 and the A with the A add 9. Okay, really, really nice with that add 9. Okay, we could also take that E to A chord change, very simple, right? Just a 1 to a 4 chord, and we could maybe do it like this. So the E could be this E major 7 to an A. So E major 7 with some harmonics there to the A. So this is the E major 7. And this is a little A triad shape. I've taken my first finger off the 2nd string, so it's really an A add 9 there, so it is add 9. With the B, just a different way of playing it, along with the E major 7. So really, really beautiful way to play the E to A chord progression as well. And we could just end on the E major 7. Another way we could play it would be to play the E up here with the harmonics, and then I didn't show you this specific shape, but it's another an A add 9 type chord. It's using part of a triad shape and then again droning B and E on top with the low A. So very simple but beautiful sounding A add 9 chords. So we've got E, A, back to E. We could even, on that A, include some harmonics with the pinky there if you wanted. They're in reach. However you want. And to the A. So the second chord progression is going to be a simple little progression that I'll play with just standard chords first for you. It's going to be an E, an F sharp minor, G sharp minor, and A. And that's going to play twice. So E again, and F sharp minor, and G sharp minor, and then the A, and then we'll just finish on the E. And that is actually just playing the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4 chord in order that they appear in the key of E. You've got the 1 chord, the 2 chord F sharp minor, 3 chord G sharp minor, 4 being A, and then E. However, we're going to play it a little differently, of course. We're going to use the E add 9 chord that we featured, or that we looked at before and used in the first chord progression today. Then we're going to play the F sharp minor, but we're going to pedal. What's going to happen throughout this progression is pedaling the low E string, which means we're going to continually drone out the low E string against each of the chords. So of course you've got it with E add 9, the E F sharp minor 7 with open droning strings on top as well, B and E, but also the low E. Then we move that shape up to G sharp minor 7 and or G sharp minor, and then we do the same on the A. So these little shapes for F sharp, G sharp, A are just little 2 fretted, well, we've got the open strings, but only 2 frets needed. We've got just the middle 2 strings, if you like, of the bar chords. So here we've got F sharp minor, we're using just the middle 2 strings, middle 2 strings of G sharp, middle 2 strings of the A. That's where those shapes are coming from. So we go on the E add 9, and then the F sharp minor 7 or F sharp minor, and then we go back and when we get to the A here, we'll bring in the actual A root note, just give it some stability, and then we'll finish on that E major 7 that we were using in our previous progression. Such a beautiful way to play the chord. And the final progression here today is also quite simple. It's going to be a minor chord progression, A minor. It's going to be A minor, D minor, and then an E, or maybe an E7 chord, and back to A minor. Okay, so we've got an A minor for a bar, D minor for a bar, E7 for a bar, and back to the A minor. Okay, so a pretty common standard minor chord progression. But we're going to use the minor add 9 chord for the A minor, then the D minor 9 chord for the D, and the E7 is E7 flat 9, and then we could finish, or rather we'll repeat the progression. So, but instead of going back to this minor 9, which I could, I'm going to, because I'm up here already with the E7 flat 9, I'm going to do or use this minor add 9 chord. Okay, so that's gone A minor add 9, D minor 9, E7 flat 9, and then A minor 9, and I might keep add 9, keep that for the repeat of the progression, and then I'm right there for my D minor 9, and then I can go to my E7 flat 9 and back to my my A rather, minor add 9. There's something with this shape that's quite cool, and that is if you move it up 3 frets at a time or down, you get the same chord but a different inversion of that chord. Now normally when you're moving shapes up and down, you would need to change the shape to get the next inversion. Here you do not. It's because it's basically, it's a flat 9 chord, but it's also diminished. If I add the note on top, so I get the full diminished chord, that's the full diminished chord there. And the great thing about diminished chord, because all the notes in the chord are equal distance apart, which is not the case with the standard major minor chords, 7th chords, minor 7th chords, major 7th chords, etc. It's a symmetrical chord, and that means when you move it up 3 frets at a time or down, it's the same shape but an inversion. So it's really, really cool. And because we're using a fragment of it along with the open droning string, we can do the same thing. So if I played this chord progression again, and I get to that chord, I could So I can kind of, I'm playing a pretty rubato sort of fashion here, right? I'm not playing strict to time, but again, A minor, add 9, D minor 9. Okay, so you can kind of, vamp out a little bit on, if you like, on that 7/9 chord. If you would like help with your finger picking, the kind of help that gets you results in the most direct, efficient, fun way possible, then check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, a complete system for fingerpicking acoustic guitar, so simple even a beginner can learn it. I've carefully designed this course to do all the heavy lifting for you, as far as knowing exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in regard to mastering the art of fingerpicking guitar. All you have to do is follow the pathway I've laid out for you. In the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course, you will learn and master all the key concepts, methods, strategies, and techniques needed for fingerpicking, so you'll never put your guitar down in frustration again, thinking, how the hell do I do this? You will also discover the exact order in which to do things, avoiding the all too common mistakes most people make when learning to fingerpick guitar, saving you precious time and frustration. Have your hand held every step of the way with the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. It will take you from wherever you are at right now with your fingerpicking to where you would like to be, enjoying every part of the process along the way. So click the link in the description below the video and check out the Ultimate Fingerpicking Guitar course. Let me know in the comments section what acoustic guitar topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. Let me know of beautiful sounding chord progressions you like to play on guitar. Sometimes it's the voicing that makes the chord progression sound beautiful. Sometimes it's the type of chord, no matter how you play it, makes the chord progression sound beautiful. But I'd love to hear of chord progressions you like to play on guitar that sound really beautiful. So drop me a line, don't be shy. I would love to hear. If you like this video, then hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Now, my analytics tell me that over 80% or about 80% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and you might think you are because they pop up in your feed because you've seen videos before, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're subscribed. If you subscribe and of course hit the notification bell button, then YouTube will tell you when I've released a new video. Thank you all the same for being here today. I really do appreciate your time as always. It's great to have you here, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.